Yefimovich Chapter One. A few months had passed since the Hitler-Nemtsov Treaty was signed, and today was a day of equal significance. Yefimovich was nervous as he scribbled some words upon a piece of parchment. As he sat at his desk, he bit his fist as he read the words he had just written, and shook his head in indecision. He felt the soft hand of a woman rest upon his shoulder and give a gentle squeeze. The woman's voice whispered in his ear, "Relax."
"I wish that I could. This is more difficult than fighting a war,"
said Yefimovich in frustration. "May I suggest to not write what the people may want to hear, but to say what is within your heart?"
"Victoria, I want the people to feel both hope and pride. I want their souls to rejoice. After 2.5 years of war, I want them to feel that peace and prosperity are our future," he told her.
"Is that what you feel, Yefi?"
"Deeply."
"Then the words you want are not on your paper. They are in here," Victoria said, placing her hand on his heart. Yefimovich looked up from his chair and kissed her pillowy lips. "Your counsel is wise," he told her. She smiled at his praise and threw the paper he was writing on into the bin beside the desk. "How is our baby girl doing this morning?" he asked his wife. "She is trying to pick herself up and crawl in the other room. I think she is anxious to see the world." Yefimovich walked out of his study and into the tea room. He laid on the floor next to his baby daughter. "Hey, pretty lady, where are you trying to go?" he asked her. His daughter looked up at him and beamed a toothless smile. Her light brown eyes were like the sweetest chocolates, and Yefimovich saw her love, her happiness, and her joy within them that radiated from her innocent soul. He put his hands over his face and quickly moved them away, playing a game of peekaboo. "Igor Vipriatki," he said, and he laughed as his daughter laughed. "Come to Dad," he encouraged his little girl. She gave a joyous squeal only a baby could make, excited by her father's affection, and wiggled her little body and gave a yell in frustration as she struggled to get to Yefimovich. "Come on, Yekaterina, you're so close," he said, and with great effort she moved her hand forward and then her leg. Then she moved the others until she reached the loving arms of her father. "Well done, Katerina!" Yefimovich picked her up and kissed her forehead. He grinned from ear to ear as he looked at his daughter's face, who looked as if she had conquered the tallest mountain. He glanced over at his wife. "Honey, did you see?" he asked. "I captured it on holo." Victoria beamed happily. For the next half hour, Yefimovich enjoyed himself in the company of his family and cherished it as if it would be his last moment with them, while his family bonded. A knock came on the door. "Sir, your meeting is in 20 minutes. Should I ready the vehicle?" asked the servant girl. "Good morning, Rivka. Please have them swing it towards the entrance. I will be there shortly." He kissed his baby daughter once more on the forehead and let her continue playing with the toys next to her, and then took Victoria in his arms and kissed her goodbye. An Avia soldier was gracefully resting the Vetterweikel vehicle at the entrance of the palace when Yefimovich walked out. The craft was space grey with 2 large circular propulsion devices on its sides, and underneath the vehicle was another that generated lift. The soldier stepped out of the craft to greet his leader. His slacks and jacket were bleach white. Adorned on the left and right sides of his military coat were 8 gold buttons, and stretching across, connecting the buttons with each other, were taut red bands. His black boots and elbow-length gloves accented the white uniform, and giving his attire character was a red cape, with gold epaulettes sitting on his shoulders. Resting on his side, attached to his belt, was a black sword sheath whose handle was made of pure gold. The Avi flattened his hand and saluted Yefimovich as he approached. Yefimovich saluted the soldier back, and then shook his hand. "Good morning, Eero. How are you today?" "Good morning, sir. I am well. I hope you are doing the same," Eero responded.
"Quite well, thank you, Eero. Let's get going to the citadel, shall we?"
"Right away, sir." The airman placed his hand over an opening on the dashboard, and with his body moved air through the vehicle, lifting it high into the cloudless sky. and then, with his free hand upon another opening, propelled the aircraft to its destination. They quickly reached the walled city of the citadel. Yefimovich was accosted by generals and members whom he had selected to help him in his interim role as Prime Minister. Press from all over the country and throughout the world were there to behold the historic day. Flashes of light from holocams and holovids bombarded Yefimovich as he was escorted from the vehicle into the stark white, gold-capped Capitol building. He and his staff hurried their way through the decorated halls and into the Capitol's briefing room. Yefimovich took a deep breath to calm any nerves that jittered, and he spoke. "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to have you serving with me as we make a transition in establishing our very own country. Please take your seats and we'll get started. Thank you." The generals of the 4 newly established military branches took their seats along with the cabinet members Yefimovich chose to help lead the new country. General Yisra was the first to speak in his very low and rough voice. "Good afternoon, Prime Minister. I want to congratulate you on this incredible day. If it weren't for your leadership over the past 4 years, we would not be where we are today. We would not be a nation today, so thank you." "Your words are warmly felt, Yisra. What news of domestic threats, if any?" he asked. "Domestically, the country is rather peaceful, sir. After 2.5 years of fighting, I think the people are looking forward to some stability and normalcy in their everyday life. As far as foreign threats are concerned, there is very minimal threat from Mongolia, as they have been sanctioned for the next 10 years for military build-up. And Holler is in near economic collapse. The country is suffering from hyperinflation, and they are still trying to rebuild from the war. They're very lucky Saoirse is a very generous country. Otherwise, I did not think they would exist. There are rumors of a shadow government within Holler, which we are investigating, but have no real answers on the matter as of yet. Other than that, sir, that is the end of my report," said the general. For the most part, good news then. Thank you, General," said Yefimovich. "If I may, sir," General Dmitra interjected. "Yes, General, please go ahead." Yefimovich let him speak. "General Yisra is correct on the matter of a shadow government within Holler. However, I just received a brief report about an hour ago that the shadow government is recruiting highly trained military-age men. May I ask how we have knowledge of such activities like shadow governments and these secret governments developing militaries of their own?" Yefimovich asked. "We have a hidden source who is well positioned within the government of Holler. This source has been providing us with what you are hearing today and has been posted there since near the end of the war, sir," General Dmitra informed him. "Is there anything else, generals?" Yefimovich asked broadly. There was no response to his question, leaving him to believe they had nothing left to add. "How do we stand economically? I understand our currency is weak, as it should be. However, we have had talks about backing our money up with either gold or tritium. Is there an update on when the meeting is to discuss the matter?" "Yes, Prime Minister," said a shorter man with ruffled black hair, pale green eyes, and large frame black bifocals. "Good morning, Edic," Yefimovich greeted him. "Good morning, sir. We have scheduled for the meeting to be held 2 days from now, here at the Citadel at 11 in the morning," said Edic. "As we discussed early in the week, out of the list you have given me, I have chosen the remaining economic advisors who will help us in making a decision on how to make this country economically viable and how to make it grow at a steady rate." "Thank you, Edic. I am looking forward to their opinions on the matter with great interest," Yefimovich said with enthusiasm. "Gentlemen and ladies, our very short 15 minutes is up. We will meet again tomorrow for a full review. I will see you all outside in about an hour," he said as he gathered his papers and devices. He headed upstairs to the dome of the Capitol building. There were a total of 5 floors within the dome. The bottom floor was contemporary in design and was made from one solid circular piece of polished cement. The room was lined in soft white and blue lights and gave off a calming yet futuristic ambiance. The floor consisted of countless offices for the elected leadership and also all things entertainment, such as holoreels, virtual reality, digital board games, and all delights for a carless youth to enjoy. The floor above was a kitchen built for a king. The all-white cookery was always filled with workers. There were at least 24 people who worked as part of the kitchen staff. They too dressed in all white, from head to toe, and pure white hats were designated to all who worked within the kitchen, which informed others of position and rank. Yefimovich smelled the sweetest of smells as he walked past the floor. The cooketteers were creating a deliciously delicate dessert as they meddled with flour, sugar, and caramel. On the 3rd level was an astounding living area. There were 3 great rooms on the floor, an immaculate dining hall with stunning 80-foot oak arches running across the room with dazzling chandeliers hanging from above. Another room within the floor was a great room with fine woven couches and elegant chairs lined throughout, along with stunning paintings from artists all around the world. The focal point, however, was a wall that seemed cracked. Fire ran through it, and as it reached the surface it ignited the oval-shaped fireplace, lighting the entire room with its glow. Just on the other end of the floor was the final room, a ballroom, ideal for hosting military balls, charity events, and ceremonies of all types. Yefimovich liked the idea of having a yearly event celebrating local, everyday people and their accomplishments. He thought it would help unify the country and create less tension between wealthy individuals and those who were less well off. Just above, on the 4th floor of the dome, was the premier suite. It had the softest of silks and cottons, the finest of linens, and a bed that felt more magical than a dream and softer than any cloud. Yefimovich had yet to sleep in the comfortable bed, as he was waiting for this day, the day his country was born. As tempting as the bed seemed, Yefimovich finally found his way to the top floor. From this room, Yefimovich could see not just the entire walled city of the citadel, but its neighbouring city as far as the horizon extended. Within this magnificent space, surrounding him were unfinished paintings, still on their easels, as well as huge pieces of stone and marble of sculpted men and women. The walls were littered with books, a vast library that would take 1,000 years to read, and you'd still need 1,000 more years to finish them all. This is where Yefimovich was most comfortable inside the Capitol building. He turned on his favourite composer and had the music fill the room and build him with creative thoughts. He closed his eyes and listened to the vibrations of the strings and the hammering of the drums until his mind was filled with thoughts outside his own world.